Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. Anything that can go wrong will. I guess you've heard of Murphy's Law, huh? Actually, I learned a few things this week about Murphy's Law. It's named after Edward A. Murphy, who was an engineer for the Air Force and who was engaged in a project using rocket sleds to test the limits of human tolerance in 1949. The test subject in the sled was hooked up to 16 sensors, each of which could be attached in two different ways. All 16 were installed the wrong way, prompting Murphy to make his pronouncement. Here's what he really said. If there are two or more ways of doing something, and one of those ways can result in a catastrophe, then someone will do it. Quickly, the law spread to other industries and made it into Webster's dictionary in 1958. But what's interesting is that Murphy's Law, as we have it in popular society, was never actually said that way by Edward Murphy. I guess if anything can go wrong, it really will. It's easy for us to see the negative in life, isn't it? I looked up some other laws people have come up with, like Murphy's Law, and there were pages and pages of them. There is O'Toole's commentary on Murphy's Law, which says Murphy was an optimist. There is the unspeakable law, which states, as soon as you mention something, if it's good, it goes away. If it's bad, it happens. There is Robinson's observation, which simply says, the other line moves faster. Jennings' corollary states that the chance of bread falling with the buttered side down is directly proportional to the cost of the carpet. Lieberman's law states that everyone lies, but it doesn't matter since nobody listens. Gould's law says simply, if the shoe fits, it's ugly. And of course there's the old saying, with my luck, when my ship comes in, I'll be at the airport. I think I could go on for a week with these. It's so easy for us to see the negative in life, and we might think that St. Paul was caught up in that if all we had to read was chapter 7 of his letter to the Christians in Rome. If only what Paul said wasn't true. That's our focus this week. You see, in Romans 7, Paul spells out the awful truth about how easy it is for us to go wrong. I guess you could say, if any of us can go wrong, we will. The good news is that into our Romans 7 lives comes a Romans 8 God. So today we're going to look at the problem we share and which Paul expresses in Romans 7. And then the rest of the week we'll look at God's response to that, as Paul describes in Romans 8. In Romans 7, Paul spends a lot of time talking about our nature to sin. We want to do what is good, he says, but I end up doing bad. I want to do what is good, but I end up doing what is bad. He puts it this way, I do not understand my own actions. For I do not do what I want, but I do the very thing I hate. I can will what is right, but I cannot do it. For I do not do the good I want, but the evil I do not want is what I do. Now if I do what I do not want, it is no longer I that do it, but sin that dwells within me. And there we have the dilemma we all face. We may want to respond to God in faith, but the sinful nature within us leads us in ways obverse to that. We desire the good. We are trapped in evil. We may want to follow God, but if any of us can go wrong, we will. What are we to do? You can hear Paul's anguish as he struggles with himself. Here in the midst of Lent, as we are called to repent of our sinful natures, I hope there's a little bit of a struggle in us too. I hope we are aware of our sin and not blithely complacent about it. So that's where we leave today. What are we to do? How can we draw close to God? It's the chapter 7 problem. We live chapter 7 lives, but we have a chapter 8 God. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.